Hello viewers, welcome to Full Spinnaker Ahead. This is episode 33. We're in the Gippsland Lake, my home port, and we're going to do some prawning. We've spent the last few weeks in Boxers Creek and we're going to move to the Tambo River, and from there we're going to work and do some prawning in Tambo Bay. Been in Boxers Creek all week. First week back at work down in Gippsland Lake. It's been going really good. We got building this really cool rammed earth wall, sort of an upper level one with premium grade materials. I'm just going to go and move to the Tambo River, one of the 5 major rivers that run into the lakes, just for a bit of a change. We've got a big long peninsula there that runs out, and it's quite shallow getting into the Tambo, but it's a beautiful river. So that's and then I'm just going to park off the bank and bring my car into a place called Sardine Flats, spend a week or 2 there working, of course, but also leaving the board. Should be fun. They tell me there's a few brim biting, and the prawns are on the run too. That's over there. That's Tambo Bay. It's a real sandy bay, and it's got shallow, and then it goes shallow and a little bit deeper, and you can wade right out, and you're good for prawning. The odd flounder. So yeah, looking forward to it. This is the entrance to the Tambo River. When we enter this river, all of a sudden we don't have to worry about the weather elements too much because it's extremely protected. Thursday morning on the Tambo, with the anchor out the front and 2 stern ropes to hold us into the bank, and a plank to use as a walkway and as a bit of holdout from the bank as well. It worked pretty good. Took a bit of practice, but in the end it worked well. Tambo Bay, beautiful, great prawning bay. Yeah, good afternoon. I thought I'd just show you what the prawning utensils look like down in the Gippsland Lakes. This is an underwater light. It's just it's got a special water sealed headlight. It carries 6 AA batteries, and it's sort of changed the face of prawning a little bit from when I was a young fella, where they used to have a car battery attached to an underwater spotlight, and they used to drag it all around in a floating car tube. But so this is now much easier. And the net, the only thing, it has to be quite small mesh, because that allows the prawns to get caught. And something with a bit longer net is good, because then you can just leave the prawns in the net as you catch them. With this one, if you leave too many prawns in there, they come out the upper side easily. So but with a bit more net on there, it sort of creates a bit more of a pocket. So the whole, and then on the end of this net, I've got a little spear that I use for flounder. In the video that I'm showing, we didn't see any size flounder, but you quite often see one or a flathead. You don't often get close enough to the flathead, or nearly never. But it's just handy to have that on it, but it's a bit dangerous. You got to watch. If you get on with someone else, you have to make sure, put a cork on there or something. So basically the way this is done is that you've got the light sits below the water line, just skimming over the sandy bottom, and you get pretty good at identifying the prawns by sort of like a white luminescent shape in the water with illuminating eyes. So, and then basically you use the torch to chase them into the net. So you sort of chase the prawn into there with the net, as you see on the videos. So these you get them in lakes entrance or fishing stores around where you catch prawns, and the net's pretty available at most stores as well. The prawns have a number of different evasive tactics. One being they bury themselves into the sand. Another one that I've just recently found is they lay doggo on top of the sand. Looks quite interesting, but it never really works for the prawn. Another one is swimming to the top and then skipping along the top of the surface of the water. Sometimes that works well for them, and sometimes they just end up swimming straight into the net. And another one is they skip or flick left, they flick right, forward, backwards, left to right. That works pretty good for them, but you never know which way they're going to go. The best time to go prawning is on a moonless night. There's more prawns out because the prawns are less visible, so they don't hide under the sand as much. And there's two different sort of techniques. There's one like this, walking around the net on the flats when you're picking singles up, and then there's another time when the actual prawns swarm, and they're actually hundreds of prawns just catching the current out to sea basically, and that's when you can get like a bucket full of prawns quite quickly. When the prawns are running or swarming in large numbers, the technique changes more to swatting the prawns. You're just scooping them up basically. As you can see here, I'm just trying to position the light to encourage the prawn to flick back, and bringing the net forward and pushing in with the torch. Quite often they'll try and bury themselves, but you just go a bit harder into the sand with the net and you normally get them. This prawn here become pretty inquisitive, and then he just decides to flick forward, and then he does it again, but then just keeps going. Quite often I just hang around, but this one just decided to head off like that, and you pretty much can't chase him. This prawn here decides to lay doggo and then skips to life. But I don't know what the reaction to this doggo look is, whether it's to fool the predator that they're dead and maybe not worth eating, I don't understand that, or that they look dead so that they can attack a little fish perhaps, but not really up to it. But if you know what's going on, let us know. This is a little flounder. It's the gem of shallow water fishing, I suppose. Beautiful little fish. This is just a little one. Yeah, they've been around in the culture for years. You see them occasionally, and that's about it. So you start prawning before Christmas, but the prawns are pretty small, and they grow bigger and bigger until February, March, when they could be up to 150 mil long. Good size prawns. Depending on the season, the Gippsland Lake experiences blue-green algae events. And when this is going on, then normally the signs come up everywhere saying that you shouldn't eat the prawns because of the toxins in the algae. I listen to it. To get a feed of prawns when the blooming algae is around, the best place to go is out to the barrier landing, which is right next to the entrance to the ocean. You just keep getting nice flushes of tidal water there, and the prawns don't get affected as much. This prawn here is going through the burial technique, where he buries himself in the sand and you can only really see his little eyes poking out. When this happens, you just dig the net in a bit further and sort of scoop him out with the light as well. It often works. Here he goes again, buries himself under again. Again, this prawn, he goes through the burial technique again. So you just push the net down a bit, scoop in the light, try and dig him out sort of thing. Hopefully he swims to the back of the net. There's always heaps of other life, like this is a mid-water swimming prawn. You get lots of fish, they all follow the light around. You get some mullet and lots of garfish. You see the odd eel swimming around and seahorse. There's plenty going on. Prawn decides to lay doggo, but for some reason decides that was not the way to go and comes to life again. We end up catching him quite easily. So after a few jumps, then he decides to go for the burial technique, but I think I end up catching him. This is a classic, this one. It really shows that he just decides that he's going to act dead and basically stays that way even as he goes over the rim of the net. And yeah, caught that one easily.
sometimes it's hard to know which way they're going to go, and it's only luck that they go in. Sometimes they just basically swim into the net. We come across an eel, and when I used to be around this place when I was a kid, there was so many eels it wasn't funny. I've noticed a real decline in eels, but they're quite a beautiful animal.
The conversion of prawns by light in Gippsland, caught by hand, into a tub and then into a dinner. Voila! The change of colour. Yeah, it's good. That wraps up another episode of Full Spinning Ahead. Thanks for watching. Next week we look at some boat maintenance that we did while we're down in the Gippsland lakes. If you like these videos, please let us know, leave a comment, and see you next time.